Benedict, Benedict, boom, 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 boom,
Hello. This is You Want to Take His Excrement, brought to you by Neo and May. We'd like to thank our band off to the side for this excellent intro music. This is the part where it normally fades into the background, and you killed my joke by stopping.
Sorry, I got a little winded. The band got a little winded. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Your Take is Excrement. That's right, Season 3.
Yes.
Which I believe is Season Subversion.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, wow. It's been a couple of weeks now since we got to the old Colorado, and our lungs are beginning to adjust. I can breathe, I can speak, I can roll over. Everything is getting good again. Nature is healing. Mm-hmm. Minus the whole Ukraine-Russia thing. That's not. Anyway,
well, honestly though, I don't know.
You think the situation's improving?
No, but I find myself worrying a lot less about anything outside of a little valley, because
we do live in a little valley.
Fucking beautiful, and it's like why would I worry about anything when I can walk 5 minutes, be in the middle of fucking nowhere, and just be surrounded with either nature or people walking their dogs?
Yeah, and hang out with deer on a mountain.
I actually literally got within 5 feet of a deer today.
Really?
Yeah, at the Department of Transportation.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I hear tell that over at the Broadmoor, the deer are very used to people. So are the bears.
Deer are everywhere.
So
here are used to people.
Well, yeah, but I mean, at the Broadmoor, apparently you can just walk up and pet them.
Huh?
Just a little fucked up, I think.
They look really fucking fluffy.
They really do, dude. Them. I bet they stink as fuck, though.
Oh yeah,
they stink
musky.
as fuck. I pet a moose once. Very smelly.
I don't want to get near a moose.
That's, you know what? That is a very fair evaluation, because moose are not cool.
They're massive.
They're massive, and they're not very friends.
They're car-sized.
And stronger than your car, we might add.
Yeah.
So, eventually, we should probably start talking about what this podcast is. Well, it is a movie podcast. If this is your first time joining us, which would be very surprising at this point, hello, I'm May, and
Neo. I already introduced us.
Did you?
Yeah.
Sorry, was that during the band?
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Well,
the music will circle in the theme of the movie. You just have to be
right. So the movie's
patient.
Boogie Nights. The movie's Boogie Nights.
By
Have you ever Paul Thomas Anderson?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, you got it.
By Mr. Anderson.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm going to admit, I have not heard that one. I have heard people be like, there's another filmmaker who really sucks named Paul W.S. Anderson. He directed Event Horizon. Sorry. Anyway, he super sucks, but sometimes people are like, oh, yeah, that's that new Paul W.S. Thomas Anderson film.
Mm-hmm.
Also not funny. But either way,
hey, Matrix shows are always funny.
You're right. So good Lord, Neo, I think this might be your first Paul Thomas Anderson movie.
I do believe so.
Okay, I'm gonna just.
That's right. I haven't seen There'll Be Blood. Fight me.
Yeah.
Drive to Colorado and fight me, cowards.
And Neo has not seen There Will Be Blood. And if he keeps it up, there will be blood in his bedroom, because I'll murder him. He's got to see that shit, dude. Also, yeah, Paul Thomas Anderson. The Master?
Of Disguise?
No, fuck. Yes, that's Paul Thomas Anderson.
His debut film.
Yeah.
He learned a lot since then.
I am assuming you're currently Googling Paul Thomas Anderson and see if you've seen any of his films.
Yeah, doesn't look like it. Inherent
Vice?
Nope.
Punch Drunk Love?
Nope.
Wow. All right. Well, this is a fucking eye-opening moment for May. So you don't know anything about Paul Thomas Anderson. That's spicy.
I know he directed There Will Be Blood.
He did do that. So Paul Thomas Anderson is very interesting. He's basically Quentin Tarantino's like far better, far smarter compatriot.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I was really into Tarantino, and then I saw my first Paul Thomas. It might have even been this. I think I saw Boogie Nights, and I was like, oh, fuck Tarantino, I guess.
Boogie Nights is kind of Tarantino-esque,
but it's more mature, right?
Yeah.
It's more mature. It's like longer. It's about more shit.
Yeah. Well, it's not about. Well, can you imagine
way
if
more
Tarantino?
mature.
Wait. Okay. Before we should talk about the movie and then circle back around to Paul Thomas Anderson. But I'm going to finish the thought I had, and that's: can you imagine how horrific
this
a
movie
Quentin
would be?
Tarantino movie about pornography would be?
Oh yeah, this movie, but Tarantino.
Because
mama.
everything Tarantino fetishizes, Anderson mocks.
Exactly, and vice versa. Actually, right.
Anyway, so the movie is about Dirk. I can't remember Dirk's Eddie. So it's this character
Dirk's
Eddie.
Dead name.
I don't know. I mean, is
no, that doesn't count.
No.
But Dirk Diggler
is a far better name than Eddie whatever the fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
So the movie starts out with just a couple characters, and it's kind of like the movie just shotguns a bunch of characters at you, and then the movie is you watching them progress through like the decade. The 80s. The end of the 70s and the start of the 80s. Okay, yeah. So you have Eddie/Dirk, who has a giant penis and is a high school dropout and is washing dishes at a nightclub.
Uh-huh.
You have
Mark Wahlberg. That's Marky Mark.
Wait, is it?
Yeah, that was Mark.
Really?
Dirk Diggler?
I didn't realize that.
What? Bitch, yes, it's Mark Wahlberg, bitch.
Sent y'all a Wally meme during the film.
I know, and that's why I thought we were laughing at the meme.
No,
I didn't know we were about this fucking because it was unrelated. Who the fuck did you think that was?
I know.
That was Marky Mark and his funky bunch. That was the whole gang.
I thought he looked familiar. God bless. Anyway.
God bless. I guess you forgot when he was in The Happening.
I only ever... Yeah, that's really the only other Wahlberg movie I've seen, and he looks like shit in it.
Yeah,
he looks like a dead man walking.
It's true. In this, he definitely looks slightly
looks
more
lot
alive.
Better. Anyway,
Younger.
So then you have... You have Paul? Is that his name? No.
Who are you talking about?
The guy running the house. Why did I think it was Paul?
Oh, are you talking about the director?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Oh, God. We've done no research. We just watched this yesterday.
No,
Burt Reynolds' character, yes?
Yes, Burt Reynolds. The reason I don't remember his name is because I just remember Burt Reynolds.
I mean, yeah, admittedly, there is that problem with this movie where it's just like, oh, yeah, it's that actor. Shit, yeah. Like, Julianne Moore, like, you couldn't press me on what Julianne Moore's character's name is. But I'll always remember Roller Girl.
Is she the mom?
Yeah.
Hannah. No. Wait.
This is not going great.
This is not going well. I pulling
too many characters, too many names. All right, nightmare.
You have Burt Reynolds' character.
Yes.
Jack.
God, I got it right when you fucking got it too.
All right.
God damn it, Jack Horner. That's right.
He's like a big shot. Directs erotic films, exotic films.
Right. He doesn't want to call it porn because he considers himself a filmmaker.
Yeah. And then you have Julianne Moore's character Amber, who's Jack's wife. You have John C. Reilly as
another porn star.
As another porn star, Reed.
Yeah, which we love.
You have Don Cheadle as Buck.
Oh, yeah. He's a cowboy.
And you have Roller Girl. Buck's also a porn star. You have Roller Girl, who's also a porn actress. You have Little Bill, who's like...
He's an assistant director. So he just makes things happen.
Yeah.
But his wife is cheating on him which is something, I guess he's the only person who can functionally care about that in the world of pornography. And it just doesn't go good for him.
Yeah, and then you have what's his name? The gay dude.
Scotty.
Yeah.
Oh no. Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah, Hoffman, the Hoff. And he's like a boom mic operator.
Yeah, and he's horny as shit for boys.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so you have all these characters, and they all, Jack brings them all into the porn business.
Right, and they become kind of a merry band of pornographers.
Right. Well, so he has all of them under like contract, but he also like him and Amber are like parental figures to all of them.
Yes.
So he's actually like, and so it's like, and something this movie touches on is all of them come from like really shitty situations and like backgrounds, and
right.
Jack has taken all these people under his wing, and while it is exploitive, it's also kind of wholesome.
Yeah, it's like he's given them a life that they and like Mark Wahlberg's character is like, everybody's given one thing. If this is my one thing, then I guess I can make peace with that.
Right.
So he doesn't feel exploited. He feels like he's, enacting his gift.
Right. And when the movie started, to be honest, I thought this was going to be a film about how Jack exploits everyone. I thought that's the direction the movie was going to go.
But that is so not the direction.
No.
Which is so fun.
Yeah. Well, okay. So then there's also the Colonel, who is
a pedophile.
I was gonna get to that.
Well,
but he's the
significant thing I remember from this watching.
He's the producer,
yes.
And then you have another producer. I can't remember his name, but the Colonel likes to produce film, and the other producer is wanting to produce videotape.
Yeah.
So
completely different market.
So the movie starts. Jack recruits Dirk into his gaggle of porn actors. Dirk is just the best porn actor.
Yeah.
Because he's hot, vain, and has the biggest dick
of all time
anyone has ever seen. Like, everyone.
And he's completely unassuming.
Yeah.
He has no idea. Like, he's completely innocent, has no idea what's going on.
Yeah, and so he's just great at porn. Everyone likes him. It is just one big fucking party for, like, the first hour of the film.
A girl ODs on coke, and they're just like, sounds like you need to get some better coke.
Well, no, the Colonel brings a girl, and then she ODs, and they're like, all right, get her in the car. We're gonna take her to the beach and drop her off. And the guy's like, this is the second girl I've had OD on me in 2 days, man. It's like, maybe you should get new
better
coke.
Shit. Yeah, have you considered getting better shit? There's a functional antisocial like humor to the film where so what I would say is like a lot of movies of this kilt would probably make jokes more at the expense of it,
right,
and not necessarily understand it quite so much. So like the goal for the first half seems to be to completely understand it, and then once you've completely understood it, then you can pretty much make jokes that only people who are in the know about it would laugh at.
Right.
Like a joke like, well, it sounds like you need to get better shit. Because like on a completely interiorly social, map, they would be joking about the fact that the girl OD'd at all. But in this situation, they're just talking about it's so casual, the attitude about drugs, where it's like, well, I mean, just get better drugs.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like infinitely funnier because it's inside of it instead of like on the outside looking in.
Yeah, and something about the first half of the movie, which is like the glorification part, is it glorifies the lifestyle, but it doesn't actually really glorify doing porn very much.
No, it treats it like, well, so if sex work is work,
it treats
then
it like
work sucks. Right?
It treats it like honestly, the first half reminded me of Waiting a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Because it's just like everyone's at work.
Yeah.
And you're hanging out with your work buds.
And they enjoy it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not for the point that you would think they would enjoy it, but they enjoy it because they genuinely are like, this is fun to do.
Well,
like making movies is fun.
Right. And this is, in the 70s when porn was more of
It was more cinematic thing. I mean, it's been entirely replaced at this point by video, but there was a time where, porn on film was a thing.
You know, where you couldn't really, like, rent it for your home consumption. You had to go to a theater.
You had to attend porn.
Yes. Or get a magazine.
Get photographs, And video kind of changed that and revolutionized the industry so everybody could just have it at home, which is like what they wanted anyway. It was way more comfortable. And perhaps had Jack Horner made the jump to videotape and then taken his artistic eye there, maybe something good could have happened. But instead, he cynically and bitterly made the jump.
Right. Well, so everyone except for Lil Bill was having the great time in the 70s. Is the whole point of the first half of the movie.
Yeah.
He keeps on there's a scene where he comes home from work, he takes off his shoes, he's really pissed off and exhausted, and he walks into his bedroom and his wife is having sex with somebody. And he's like, "What are you doing? That's my wife." And he's like,
"Can you close the door?"
I'm sorry, man. Can you close the door? And his wife's like, "Don't stop. Keep going.
Keep fucking me, big stud."
And he's just standing there.
Yeah.
Totally emasculated. Anyway, so then there's just a bunch of scenes where he'll be at a party and be like, "Hey, have you seen my wife?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I think she's outside." And he walks outside and she's having sex with somebody. And he's just like, ugh.
Well, and then somebody literally comes up to him and has a full-blown conversation with him. And it's just
yeah.
So later on, you thinking about doing that? And he's like,
he's having a technical conversation.
Yeah, and he's like, I don't know if I can talk about this right now.
He's like, do you think Jack's really going for a minimalist lighting setup? So do you think we should do these lights for the shoot? As he's staring at the guy fucking his wife, and he's like, I don't want to talk about this right now.
And he's like, I don't know if right now's the time.
Anyway, and so then the midpoint, the shift of the movie is they have a welcome to the 80s party where.
Everybody thinks the 80s are going to be awesome.
Yes.
But the 80s were fucking not awesome.
Right. So and this is also this is showing how it's where everyone breaks, where the breaking point happens in all their arcs. So this other producer who's wanting to do videotape approaches Jack, and Jack's like, "Fuck you, I'm a filmmaker. I make film.
I'm going to stay in the past, I think."
Yeah. He's like, "I'm staying in the past and make my art." Amber and Dirk hook up, but Amber gives Dirk some cocaine.
Yes.
And
Dirk, turns out Dirk likes cocaine.
He really likes that coke. Buck decides he wants to stop being a porn actor and open a video store.
No, an audio.
An audio store. That's
yeah.
Right. And then, what other important characters am I missing? Oh, and then the last but not least, the guy who keeps on getting cucked, as everyone's counting down for the new year, walks to his car, gets his gun, walks in the room where his wife is having sex with somebody, and
murders
guns them down, walks out, and in front of God and everyone. What is the cat doing behind me?
Just sleeping, it seems. I don't even know.
Making some weird noises. Anyway, in front of God and everyone, blows his brains out.
Yeah,
and then
just all over the wall.
Welcome to the 80s.
Yeah, and then a title literally goes on screen that says 80s.
Yeah. So, well, and I guess before this, just during the whole first half, everyone's having the time of their lives. Dirk is making, they're making movies, they're making films that aren't just smut, but allegedly.
Well, they're also making fuckloads of money from box office sales, which was a thing. Porn actors used to make fuckloads of money off of that shit.
Yeah. So anyway, the 80s roll around. And the first really bad thing that happens is the Colonel gets arrested. And it's actually, I think it might be my favorite scene in the movie. But so Jack, a la Burt Reynolds, goes to see his friend and benefactor, the Colonel, in jail. And Jack's like, "What happened, dude?" And he's like, well, there was this girl in my apartment, and they're saying she was 15. I didn't know anything about it. And Jack's like, "Of course not, buddy. Sometimes people look really old. You couldn't have known any better, buddy." He's like, "Yeah, and then she OD'd." And he's like, I mean that just happens. That's just cocaine. But and he's like, I'm not a pedophile, right, Jack? Jack's like, of course not. Of course you're not a pedophile. And we'll get you out of this. And then he's like, but they're so adorable and they're so cute. And they're little and they're so pretty, and
you're like,
I just love them, Jack. And then so they're talking over like the phone system, and Jack like literally takes the phone away from his ear
and just puts it down.
When he's like holding it to his forehead, and you can see the guy keep talking and like try to communicate to Jack, and Jack is just like holding his head in his hands because he's like, my best friend's a fucking pedophile. And then as this guy's like hammering on the glass trying to get Jack to listen to him, Jack just like hangs up the phone and walks away.
Yeah, and well, you can see him. You can't hear him, but you can see him mouthing, "You're still my friend, right? Hey, you're still my friend. Hey, are you still my friend?" And that's just real funny.
Anyway, so then Jack ends up having to work with the guy who's only paying them to make videotapes.
Right.
And then Dirk keeps on doing the fucking cocaine, and that just starts to ruin his life.
Well, yeah, so it ruins his life in the very specific way that it makes his dick stop working, and this is frustrating given that he is a pornographer.
Yeah, and so then he starts taking out on Jack, and he like gets kicked out of their little wholesome commune. So him and his gaggle of idiots just start to make worse and worse choices.
They start an 80s synth metal band, and it's like the worst music you've ever fucking heard in your fucking life.
Right. And
they can't even pay for the recording sessions after a point. So they just try to like basically steal the tapes. They like try to like extort a guy to give them the tapes, and he's like, go fuck yourself. I'm like, not gonna do that.
You can have your tapes when you've paid for them.
Yeah. The fuck.
And so so Jack's making this low quality churned out shit. Roller Girl is staying with Jack. Amber is really fucked up because she really did care for Dirk, and is missing Dirk. She also, it turns out, has a son who she's fighting for custody with.
And
then Buck is still just trying to get a loan out to open his own audio store.
Yeah, but because he's black, married to a white woman, and has a history as a pornographer, literally no one will help him.
Right. So
and he doesn't understand like why that won't happen.
Yeah, in the bank. So the bank manager's like, we can't affiliate with pornographers. He's like, but I'm not in porn anymore. I am trying to go honest. I am trying to do something that's not porn. Why won't you let me? Like, everything's in order. All the papers are in order. And he's like, yeah, but you did porn.
Yeah, like once, and so like they start to deal with the stain of not their lifestyle choices, which is what people would say,
right?
But rather the path their life has taken forces them into a position where they could never make any other choices.
Right.
So the thing about porn is it has a tendency to always be like, right there.
Well, and it's always like for a lot of people, it's always just what defines you.
Yeah.
So I know like Mia Khalifa has gone and tried to do a bunch of other things. And I think she's a pretty successful streamer, but also it's like, and I know she's really tried to leave that world behind, but it's always.
But because she was exploited a couple of fucking times in a very specific way, she basically had her reputation permanently altered to where she could never, like, what if she decided, oh yeah, I want to be a pop star? Yeah, you think that's gonna fucking happen? What if she decided, oh yeah, I want to start a massage business?
Right.
Like, fucking, you can't do goddamn anything because you're fucking Mia Khalifa. It's like, I mean, I definitely know to an extent about, I mean, being a YouTuber and being a pornographer are very different things, but to an extent, I can't tell you how many times I've tried to be like, no, I'm doing this now. I'm like doing this. This is very serious. And they're like, why don't you just do the shit you did on YouTube? And it's like, hey, are you the YouTube person? And you kind of like are always pigeonholed into that direction, and it's like if you ever try to do anything exterior to that, you're always just forced right back into it.
Right.
So it's kind of like, they for better or for worse, they almost get forced into this place where they can never not be pornographers.
Right.
Together.
Right.
It's the only thing that makes sense for their lives.
Right. And so, Jack, yeah, and it's just like, it keeps on cutting back to Jack, who's making worse and worse and worse, just absolute, like, horse shit. And so it's like in the start of the movie, he's always like, he's dressed really suavely. Like he's always, he's with his editor and they're actually like working on what they're doing. Like they're like locked in. He's like making something.
Well, and he's like,
he's proud of it.
He's like, I want this to be the one that I'm remembered for.
Yeah.
At one point, but he doesn't understand the problem there. And this is something that like a lot of, even in the very straight art world, they deal with, which is like whenever you say that means you're pretty much done.
Right.
Like, if you ever say this is the one, then you're fucking done. Because like, you gotta think, you can't be thinking about today. You know what I mean? And so he put like his heart and soul into that, but like there's a line that Dirk Diggler says, where he's like, yeah, I just think that porn that mistreats women is so easy and so shitty.
He's like, I want to make movies about
loving women, like people that are, and with a story, and a plot, but it matters. This stuff matters, and it's not just meaningless and stuff. And then like cut to 10 years later, and they're making the 7th sequel to the same thing, and he's just like literally beating the shit out of a woman.
Yeah.
And it's like, there goes principles.
Right.
Citizen Kane and Fast Forward.
Yeah. Yeah, and so, Dirk's life is just getting ruined by cocaine. And then there's like a moment where it all culminates where Buck is like trying to, he's like, his like wife's pregnant, they're doing their thing, and he like goes to buy donuts, and someone robs the donut store. But everyone else in the donut store, like the robbery goes bad. Everyone else in the store, but Buck dies, and there's just a bag full of money lying on the floor.
And it's as if like, the sad thing is like, basically what that's saying is the only way out is if literally God hands you
the way out.
The way out. Like specifically, like he would have been fucked forever had he just gotten the donuts.
Right. Yeah. So Jack and Razor Girl in like a limo, and they're like cruising around, and they're trying to do like a reality show porn thing, where they're gonna find a stud on the side of the road, and then make a porn movie, just random Joe McGee.
This was a real thing.
Oh really?
This is a real thing.
God bless.
Yeah, this is a real thing. It turned into like a whole industry. The grab a guy off the street and do porn with him thing.
Huh.
Yeah, well, and like in a microcosm, the movie does a really good job of very quickly describing why that would be really fucking bad.
Yeah, and so anyway, so they drag this guy in. He starts being really disrespectful and mistreating Roller Girl.
He also he bullied her in high school.
Yeah.
And she just has to fuck him because it's porn.
Yeah, and so then they end up like, he pisses like Jack off, so they pull the limo over, throw him out. Jack starts beating the shit out of him. So everyone gets out and like pulls Jack off of this dude, and then Roller Girl starts kicking the shit out of him with her roller skates.
Yeah, and it's very like, oh, he dead kind of shit.
Yeah.
Like she's smashing his face with roller skates. Like, and like I think at the end of the scene when they drive away, he's still kind of moving,
but he's like gurgling. He's like,
yeah, and well, and the fucked up thing there is like 50% of it you're like, yeah, fuck this guy, like, yeah, fuck him up, like, fuck this, but also fuck Jack for putting her in that situation.
Yeah.
And
well, but it's also the moment where Jack realizes that he hates this.
Yeah.
Right. Well, so
where
because
he thinks there's something desperately wrong with his
well,
life.
and because like it's like, and as fucked up as this relationship is like Jack and Amber see Roller Girl as like their daughter.
Yeah,
in a way.
they do. I mean,
and
it's
so,
literally stated in the movie.
Yeah, and it's this moment where he's realized like who he's become and what he's become.
Right.
But well, and so there's like another scene with Jack where he's like he's in the warehouse where they're making his movies, and it's like this whole like factory line of people like making his VCRs ready to ship, and he like. And instead of this like suave, like very well dressed, like sex symbol, he's in like polo and khakis.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know, he doesn't have his like iconic cigarette. He's just walking through his job, and he goes into the editing room. He's like, "Is it going well?" And the guy like is like reading a magazine, like looks up. He's like, "Yeah," and goes back to his magazine.
Yeah. Well, and
you know, it's
and on the screen is the replacement Dirk Diggler.
Yeah,
who's like just yelling at women. Just
yeah,
like, fuck you, bitch, suck my dick.
Yeah, and he's like holding a gun to her head.
Yeah, and it's just like, wow, this is very hot.
Anyway, and so
some good porn right here.
So that's everyone but Dirk. All right, so and then focusing on Dirk. So
yeah, Dirk somehow gets it the worst, even though Roller Girl definitely got it the worst.
Yeah. So Dirk ends up like losing everything. Like he loses everything but his classic car that he bought. And he ends up like,
which he does wreck.
Yeah. Well, he ends up like jerking off for money to dudes,
like he was doing at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah. Except and then a bunch of homophobes use that to like entrap him and then beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
And then they're like, and then him and his gaggle of other coked out idiots are like, we really need to make money. Let's go sell $5,000 of coke to a drug lord, but
it's not
coke,
it's
gonna
just
be baking powder or baking soda.
Yeah.
So then the most like anxious scene I've ever seen in any movie, except for me, Green Room. Green Room was an anxiety nightmare for me.
Yeah.
I legitimately couldn't finish Green Room.
We need to finish it.
No, thank you. I couldn't do it. Anyway.
Uncut Gems. That was pretty anxious.
Yeah, but I don't know.
This is a different kind.
Well, but see, Uncut Gems was like
unpredictable.
The whole thing was anxious.
Yeah.
Like this is just like the second half is anxious, but in different ways, and sometimes it works out for people, and sometimes it doesn't. Like you know, and so,
it's very unpredictable, and also
well, in Uncut Gems, you know it's gonna end badly. Like it's like you know from kind of the moment the movie starts that he's gonna get fucked.
Well, and there's this weird, I feel like, trust thing with Paul Thomas Anderson where you can trust with Paul Thomas Anderson that just about at any moment in any of his movies, things could get real fucked up real fast.
Right.
But you trust him that the thing that he would do would be the most narratively correct at any given moment. So it's kind of like the Coen brothers, right? Like the Coen brothers can do some crazy shit in their movies, but I'm always going to trust them.
Well, and it's like, you know, it would be really easy to make like No Country for Old Men be horrifying to watch.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And like just the worst feeling movie, but it's not because, you know, they're good filmmakers and they know what they're doing.
Exactly. Well, and Paul Thomas Anderson is the same way. But like Tarantino, right? Like compare, I feel like, this scene in this movie to the basement scene with the guns on their dicks. Right. Like we all know the second that they both reveal that there are guns on their dicks that it's going to end in 5 seconds of hideous violence.
Right. Because
we know that.
Because it's a Tarantino movie and
he's predictable.
Well, and it's like the same thing with like Hateful Eight, where it's like the moment.
Yeah,
it's like,
the moment they're all there and something goes south, you're like, they're all going to fucking shoot each other in 5 seconds.
Yeah, because, you know, and that's Tarantino.
Right. And that's not to say that he's like a bad dramatist. He's just immature about it. And like Paul Thomas Anderson, you enter the scene, there's a kid throwing firecrackers for no fucking reason, but the drug lord is actually really nice.
Yeah.
Which is the worst part.
Yeah, so the drug lord like doesn't even check the cocaine.
Yeah,
he just hands it off to his bodyguard and he throws the money. And they're all coked out and anxious and terrified because they noticed the bodyguard had a gun.
Right.
And someone's throwing firecrackers constantly at them. Mm-hmm. And this drug lord's like, hey, y'all want to party? Y'all want to have fun? Check out this mixtape I've gotten. Like, listen to this music, y'all. And they're all like,
can we go home, mister?
Can we leave?
I want to go home.
Anyway, then he's like, hey, watch this. He like pulls out a revolver and is like playing Russian roulette with them.
Yeah. And they're like, great.
It like clicks. And he's like, you should have seen your faces. You thought I was gonna die. And they're all like, just like shit can scared.
Well, and in one of my favorite shots in literally any movie, there's a moment where it just cuts to Dirk Diggler just sitting there staring. He's coked out, and he has this decision moment where he's just looking down, and like somebody's talking to him, but he can't hear, and it's just the music, and he's just listening to the music, and occasionally like the firecracker will go off, and it's just his face, and he's just like, I'm going to die tonight.
Yeah.
I'm going to die in 5 seconds right here.
Right.
If I don't get up and leave.
Yeah.
So he gets up and is like, I want to leave. And I'm going to leave. And then the second he does that,
one of his friends is like, hey, there's a safe in the master bedroom.
We're going to rob the shit out of it.
So anyway, there's the gunfight. The guard shoots the friends.
Yeah.
The friend kills the bodyguard, chases after the drug lord, who blows him away with a shotgun.
Right.
Dirk and Reed, who's the Steve Brule.
Yeah. Sean C. Reilly.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Escape. Like, Dirk gets in his Camaro and tries to drive off, but he's like out of fuel.
Yeah, and he's like out of gas. So he's like, okay, I thought that when I was getting the shit beat out of me by homophobes, that was rock bottom for me.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that rock bottom was actually watching all my friends get murdered in front of me.
Except for Reed.
For Reed, who just ran the fuck away to nowhere.
Yeah.
And we never see him again, I don't think.
No, you do.
Do you?
Yeah. Well,
at the very end?
I thought he died.
Yeah.
And then he's like in a shot at the end.
Oh, thank the Lord.
Like he's hanging out with like Buck or something.
Okay. Well, but anyway, so it's like they all kind of come back. And the reason they all come back is because, like, pretty much they realize that even if they didn't need porn, they do need each other.
Right. And so, like, they all hit rock bottom. And then there's a scene where Dirk, like, walks into Jack's house and he's, like, weeping. And he's like, Jack, I need help, man. I'm so sorry. I need help.
I'm so fucked up.
I'm fucked up, Jack. I just need help. And then it cuts to like he's laying in Amber's lap and they're like, it's okay, we'll take care of you.
Yeah. And
then it's like the final scene is everyone's just like at like Jack's house. And it's just like the camera's like panning through and you see like Buck's kid and like they're like shooting a commercial for Buck's audio store,
right?
And, like he has a kid, and Roller Girl's there, and she's like rolling around, and she's happy, and like everyone's just like happy and having and copacetic, and it's not, and they're like
Well, and Jack walks in. This is important. Jack walks in to what's her name?
Amber.
Yes. And he's like, "Are you ready?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'll be ready in just a minute." And Jack's like, "Well, there's no rush. It's a videotape, so we can take as long as we want. We got all day long."
I didn't realize.
Well, and he was like, he's okay with it. He had come to terms with videotape. It wasn't the medium. It was the people.
Right.
And so he's just like, "Yeah, we don't need to rush anymore.
Right.
We can just chill, go do it whenever we're ready."
Yeah.
I
didn't realize they're prepping a porn shoot between her and Dirk.
Dirk, yeah, another one between them two. Very Oedipuscian.
Yeah. But anyway, but then the final scene in the movie is like Dirk's looking at a mirror. He's like, "You're the man. You have the biggest dick. You're the man. You're a rock star. You're a karate master. You're a man." And the show has yet to show a dick. That shows a lot of
heart. Yeah, but pretty light on nudity in the movie.
Yeah, just like tits, and then it's like the final shot is he pulls his dick out, and it's like this like disgusting fucking prosthetic.
Yeah, it's like massive, disgusting, like rat head looking prosthetic.
Like, and it's like
looks
an
like the
ugly,
greasy strangler.
Yeah, it's like an ugly red, and it's uncomfortable, and it's just focused on that. And he's like, "You still got it," and he tucks it back into his pants.
Yeah, and in that moment, you're just kind of like, oh man, I don't even know. I can't quantify the feeling of seeing that dick. I can't quantify that feeling.
On that note...
Oh, yeah, are we supposed to...
It's time for ads.
Okay.
All right. We're putting the bits into the computer. We're going to see how it spits it back out to us. Randomly generated bits.
Hello, good afternoon today. I am here to sell you some magazines. Do you want, hello, knock knock, are you there?
What magazine are you selling, Bit Computer 3000?
Hello, today I'm selling Ambient Dream Studios on magazine. That's right. It's a website that's on a magazine that you can... There's pictures in there. You can order them, put them on your wall.
So you're saying I can order the picture from the website,
yes,
and then it'll come to my residence.
Exactly.
And get put on my wall.
Wow. Yes. Exactly. Yes, you've got it. Good job. Also, there's Blood Thing, which is a moving magazine. It's a magazine that moves.
Hey, and what else? What else other than a moving magazine is it? Bit Computer 3000.
It's like a horror thing. I mean, the marvel of a moving magazine, I feel, is strong enough that if we really want to keep on going, it's like a horror thing. There's like some cute characters and shit. It's very Invader Zim like. Do you know about that? No, you don't.
Because
you
of
do?
The tattoo on your leg.
Oh, but not because of any other reason. Because you are from Africa. I assume
seen some.
You have seen some. I assume you didn't like it.
I like it. It's just I can only watch it in short bursts because it's really high.
Fucking annoying. Yeah. Like me. Wait a minute. I lost character. I need to get back in character.
Yeah.
Did you? There's also another magazine here called #iHunt. Mm-hmm. It's an app for hunting monsters in the gig economy, but it's also a role. I think this one actually counts slightly as a magazine.
I mean, you're in the right medium.
Finally, I made it to pamphlet. It's kind of like
pieces of paper.
Listen, this #iHunt is kind of like the Communist Manifesto in that it's a little magazine and you can read it.
Also, speaking of
the Communist Manifesto,
the Communist Manifesto, you can buy May's book.
Oh God,
Fluids.
Oh yeah, my book, The Communist Manifesto. Pick it up today on nickspheres.bandcamp.com/merch.
Also, check us out on patreon.com/excrement.
Speaking of communism, yeah, throw some buccarinos over at our podcastio.
Yeah.
So that we can do even more awkward ads in the future.
Yes.
Now, are we going to go back to talking about pornography?
Yeah, we are.
Thank God. Well, welcome back. We're back to talk about pornography, and thank God.
So, I'm going to be honest.
What's
the
that?
end of this movie made me really emotional.
Yeah?
Yeah, Prodigal Son stories always, just hit me. Right where it hurts. It's like, oof.
Is that he who fucks nuns will someday rejoin the church, the Clash line? Sometimes. I feel like the Prodigal Son thing is 50-50 bullshit, 50-50
really?
Very, very validating. Yeah. Well, because understand that for me, right, there is no that moment ever going to be in my life. Me returning to my past would be damaging for me.
Right. Yeah.
But it's more like returning to your salad days is very satisfying, but doing it differently. That I will say, there's a big difference between me working my ass off 10 years ago and getting nowhere, and me working my ass off now and kind of getting somewhere, I guess.
Right. Well, I think.
But doing the exact same thing, only it's a lot more relaxed, and I have my friends around me now.
Yeah. Well, I think the prodigal son. I think you can remove it from like father sonmanship.
Sure.
And
sure.
just like apply it to to like just return to
form.
Maybe not in form, but it's like the story of
your
like,
place
of like someone who has something good decides to like go and be irresponsible and kind of ruin their lives, and then be welcomed back as if they never left.
I think it's almost that. It's almost like that that true Christian forgiveness, right? Where it's like, yeah, you can't really fuck up.
Yeah.
I mean, you can, but even if you say something really, really fucking cruel, like forgiveness and like acceptance is a huge part of just having a balanced and happy life.
Yeah. Well, you want to know a fun fact about the parable of the prodigal son?
Tell to why.
The thing Jesus was trying to communicate was that, because in the parable of the prodigal son, what everyone forgets is that there's his brother who gets really pissed off that his dad is like honoring his brother, and he goes off and has this giant fucking bitch fit about, it's like, it's like, why are you honoring your son that left? He's a jackass. And Jesus was trying to get, it's like the point of the thing was Jesus like, don't be that guy. Like if someone returns home and is welcomed, don't be upset that someone else has found a good thing.
Right. It's like the anti-Clockwork Orange ending.
Yeah.
So, okay, we have to make this apply to the theme. This is season subversion. We're supposed to be talking. So I feel like this movie subverts the Scorsese model of doing things.
Right.
In a couple of ways. In the, like, it treats it like it's kind of crime, but there's an innocence.
Mm-hmm.
There's the opportunity for hideous exploitation, but it's not really taken.
No.
There's the opportunity for gratuitous violence. It's occasionally taken, but only for actual, tangible, dramatic consequences.
Mm-hmm.
And generally, it's character-driven. I think that the big thing though is that typically with a story like this, where that there's a moment in like a Scorsese movie, right, where they're fucked up, like the police come and
right,
it's all over, and like Paulie's talking about it from prison, but that doesn't happen here. It's more of like instead of like short term, this happens, a go. It's like, what happens when you add 10 years to a good situation?
Right.
It's about decay and stagnation.
Right.
It's about finding your salad days and then losing them, and how losing them can be so devastating that it's almost like you would never get them back anyway, and you almost have to accept that. So I think the movie has a tendency to talk more about the actual real world implications of living a life more than like a lot of early Scorsese, even though I would say that early Scorsese and this have a lot in common, like a non-little amount in common. So it's like the same exact vibe and structure. Yeah, I mean, even the opening shot replicates that one Goodfellas shot that's like fucking insane. You know what I mean? So it's like literally the same thing. It's almost show-offy, but I feel like it's drawing a direct comparison from this to that. And this is like seemingly lighthearted, demonstrates like a darkness. There's like serious time passage. You watch people die, but you also watch people live their lives for a very long time. Right. And I feel like it comes across like it's someone who's like somewhat seasoned in living life.
Right.
Like they know the difference between your 20s and your 30s. You know what I mean?
And in movies, no one ever like ejects out of their situation, right?
Right,
Like
exactly.
no one, it feels like in movies no one ever pulls the plug, right? Because it's either, in movies are these like serious character dramas,
Right.
it's either, death or glory.
Yeah, exactly.
What was the movie we watched with it was the CIA analyst.
Is it Zodiac?
No, with Brad Pitt. Or is he in Zodiac too?
Oh, was it like, are we talking about Burn After Reading?
Yeah,
Yeah.
where Burn After Reading's a movie about every single character like making the worst possible choices until they all kill themselves
Pretty much
by their
yeah.
choices. And it's about characters like not knowing when to just fucking stop. And
Right.
if at any moment in that movie any of the characters just fucking stopped what they were doing,
Everything
because
would
it
have
was
been
insane,
fine.
everything would have been fine.
Yeah,
But
it's about the Burn After Reading is about the American desire to be a motherfucking Karen about goddamn everything.
Right. And so in movies it's always, it's like everyone's like, well, I've hit rock bottom, might as well keep digging. Might as well get my gun and go for gold. And then they get gunned down by the police or the mob or whatever.
Right, exactly.
But this movie is about a character who hits that rock bottom and is like, okay, I'm done.
I'm going to go ask for help.
I am going to swallow my pride, accept that I am fucked up, and accept that I've derailed like the good thing I had.
Yeah.
And go and ask for forgiveness.
Well, and like, I feel like a lot of people, the exciting thing that they want is the part where they make the bad choice and shit gets worse. They buy a gun and things go nuts.
Yeah.
But this movie's like, well,
if you buy a gun and go nuts, you're going to die in the most unglorified way possible.
Well, yeah, and it's more uncinematic if this movie ended with everybody dying, I would fucking hate the shit out of it.
Yeah. Like if Dirk died during the drug deal, I would have hated it.
Pretty much, yeah. But he didn't. He lives, and it's just like demonstrating. I don't know. There's a part of me that's like, yeah, using other people to live to alter someone else's story. They do that a lot in this. But at the same time, I think that expanding on like a character's understanding through loss and shit like that is also really valuable.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like the people they lose are not significant. They're just not their wife or some bullshit. You know what I mean? It's not like they're fridging people. Like all the death feels very meaningful. I read something a long time ago about how David Lynch is like the anti-Tarantino, in that Tarantino has all this violence in his movies, but never means anything, and it's usually just for the sake.
Mm-hmm.
And David Lynch, on the other hand, like has violence in his movies, but it comes from this place of genuine trauma and like experiencing things through trauma and like how that affects your mind and shit like that. I feel like addendum there is that Paul Thomas Anderson is basically like the vibe of Tarantino, that general thing, that film brat thing that people like, but with this like anti-capitalist bent. He like very much understands how industry and work and money can basically take a great thing like family or like, home and hope and fucking just kill it dead, just ruin it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, largely that's what his fucking movies are about. Like overall, like Paul Thomas, we need to watch some more Paul Thomas Anderson, but this one in particular is very much just about that. Just capitalism ruins everything.
Capitalism is a death cult.
It's a death cult, guys. Don't be a capitalist. Do as Jesus said and
give all your money to the poor.
Yep.
And the needy.
Yes, exactly. Do you have any extra thoughts?
Extra thoughts. I did and then I forgot. But I'm gonna dig in there and drag them back up.
Okay. Hairball.
I thought Burt Reynolds was a shitty actor.
Before this?
Before this.
Yeah.
Because the only thing I've known Burt Reynolds from, and people are going to make fun of me, is I know him because he's the mayor of the city in Saints Row 3, and his utility in the game is to have the one human being on the planet that your grizzled, murderous badass actually likes and is a fan of. And he's literally just there as Burt Reynolds, the sex symbol, because you walk into his room and he has like 2 strippers on his desk. And he's like, "Hey, I'm Burt Reynolds," and you're just like, "Oh my God, Burt Reynolds!"
Yeah.
Or in Archer, where he's either Archer either loves him as a father figure, or he is literally in the show as Burt Reynolds to be a father figure. But also he's just kind of phoning it in as Burt Reynolds because, it's like the same thing Ron Perlman did with Payday, where he's just like,
I'm in a video game.
"You're paying me how much?"
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Well, it's kind of like how Nick Cage nowadays, I feel like his reputation precedes him. They put him in situations where they think he will shine as the crazy guy because they're pigeonholing him as the crazy guy, and he knows that, so he's just kind of playing it up sometimes, and he's just like, "Yeah, I know what they want. I'll just fucking do the stupid whatever."
Yeah, I don't know. And so I feel like...
Well, Burt Reynolds is like that.
Yeah, I feel like I was genuinely shocked when Burt Reynolds was like really good in it.
Yeah. I mean, he's like a meme of a man is the thing. And I think that the reason it's kind of like, I mean, it's kind of like anybody, like he's a dad bod kind of like 70s hot guy.
Right.
Who was such a meme that he basically he is perfect as Jack Horner, to be honest.
Right. Well, but in every other portrayal of himself that I see, he's a prick.
Yeah.
But in this, he is like, he still is, he has a bit of that, like, that 70s masculine, like, standoffish energy, but he also genuinely cares about the people around him.
Yeah, well, and the movie's mostly about that, like, that it's not about tits and ass, it's about love thing. Amazing.
Yeah.
And like, getting genuine love out of Burt Reynolds, I feel like that's a talent that Paul Thomas Anderson has somehow gloriously put to film somehow.
Getting a positive, genuine human emotion out of fucking Wahlberg.
I mean, yeah, that's
also a stunning
that
achievement.
Nuts. Yeah, I think they also do a fairly good job of making Mark Wahlberg look young and then old.
Pre-hate crime or post-hate crime?
I don't fucking know, actually. That's a great question. We should ask.
Reminder,
Paul Thomas
Mark
Anderson.
Wahlberg, noted racist hate crimer.
Yeah, it happens. I have it does not
just happen?
No. My point is it doesn't. But understand that I think that happened before this film.
Oh no.
I think so. I could be wrong. I feel like that happened in between Marky Mark and his film career. I think. I'm probably wrong.
So did he blind to that person and was like, shit, I gotta go make movies.
Guess I can't be Marky Mark anymore. Who fucking knows? I actually don't know the lineage of Mark Wahlberg.
I bet if I'm a movie star, they won't arrest me.
They'll leave me alone. Yeah, maybe. God. Okay. We need to make decisions. So, tell me, Neo. I mean, fucking, this is a fucking home run here. Tell me, Neo. Gold or shit?
I'm gonna say gold.
Clink goes way out there. There goes the gold.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it's gold too. It's a home run. Yeah. I mean, I've heard many people in my life say the same stupid thing about this movie, that this movie is like weirdly immature, that it comes across like he's like infantilizing his characters. I've heard people say that it's really show-offy and it comes across like an early movie from but bullshit is my point. Bullshit. It's a very well-made movie.
No, I agree. I can kind of see the show-offy thing a little bit.
Sure.
But it's like I don't think the other criticisms have a lot of legs to stand on.
But understand too that I think porn deserves a really show-offy movie.
Yeah,
like an old Hollywood movie.
It's like Showgirls is a very show-offy movie. But it's because it's about fucking showgirls.
Well, you have to do the high-low vibe, or else it just doesn't it doesn't sell it to me.
Yeah.
Like if the movie felt like porn and it was about porn, I wouldn't really buy. It feels like a goddamn movie. Like it's expensive. There's like camera moves and shit that are like really impressive.
Yeah.
The cast is expansive and great.
The camera work is phenomenal.
Oh, phenomenal. The color, the lighting, everything. It's shot on 35. Like, what is there not to like?
Well, and like a lot of movies have it's like the one very, very good scene.
Yeah.
But this has
10 or 12.
You have a lot of choices if you're gonna be like, what is like the greatest scene in this movie, and then you can like legitimately be like, well, I think this is because of this,
right?
And there's a lot of scenes that are just like this is like transcendentally good,
right?
It's like our two favorites being the scene where he realizes that if he doesn't like humble himself and go back to Jack, he is going to get shot to death, and
right.
And everyone talking just kind of like gets drowned out by him, the music, the firecrackers, and the realization of his mortality,
right,
as he's like kind of coming down off of this cocaine bender.
Yeah.
And then, mine being when Jack has realized that everything he cares about is being stripped away because the person he trusted as his friend and producer is a fucking pedophile.
Well, yeah, and that's something he has to like shoulder.
Yeah.
As well, because like he can't bring that knowledge around everybody too much.
No.
And because it looks bad on him, it looks bad on everybody, and it makes everybody distrust everybody, and you can't really have that in an intimate space. So he's like, he has to shoulder that shit. And then on top of that, Dirk Diggler is like being a coked out prick, and he's like trying, but he's being a coked out prick because his dick doesn't work, because he can't work, and he wants to make Jack happy, but he can't make Jack happy because he can't get off cocaine. And so it's just like a big web of need versus want. And on a screenwriting level, I mean, we're talking about a movie that has so many interlocking narrative arcs that where their needs and wants all make sense,
right?
And it's I don't even know.
Well, when this movie started, I was like, "There's way too many fucking characters. Like, there's no way this
is gonna like, balance."
Yeah, there's no way I'm gonna remember any of these characters. But I loved all of the characters. I was like just invested in everyone.
Well, so do you know about Magnolia? Have you ever heard of that?
I've heard about it.
Okay, so it's 3.5 hours long, and it has more characters than this. It has like 25 characters, and it's directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, and it is so strange because it is simultaneously like one of the most impressive movies I've probably ever seen. But also, if we want to talk about show-offy, bloated, like way too much bullshit going on, like need versus want don't intersect in the way that I think that he really wants. He tries to do the Boogie Nights vibe of like there are a billion characters and they all are interlocked, but he does it in like this weirdly disseminated way that's like kind of poor, and so it's kind of like the bloated response accident of what happens when Boogie Nights gets an hour longer and he adds more bullshit.
Right.
It's still great. That's the fucked up part. It's still great. Like, I would say that there are significantly probably like 5 or 6 scenes in Magnolia that I would say are like some of the best scenes in any movie I've ever seen.
Right.
While simultaneously saying that I think it's bloated and fucking kind of crappy sometimes. Tom Cruise is in it, and he plays a like a Meninist. You know what I mean? Like like a man guru.
Right.
And so he's just like, fuck women. fuck them in their pussies. Like, and that's his whole bit, the whole movie. And then at the end, he has to like see his dying dad. And so he's just like, goodbye, Dad. Are you proud of me? I became the pussy man. You know, it's so fucking, anyway. So my point is that, like, if y'all motherfuckers think that this shit is bloated, honey, Magnolia way more bloated than this. Like, this is fairly standardly bloated in my heart. Magnolia, on the other hand, way too bloated. So that movie's kind of farty. That's how bloaty it is.
It's kind of farty.
It's a little pooty. Yeah. It's time to get the fuck on out of here, isn't it? Get on back on the dusty trail.
Yep.
Okay, Home Slice. Well, everybody at home, it was lovely to speak to you this evening. Patreon.com/excrement. Thank you to our sponsors. Machine Age Production, iHunt, Ambient Dream Studios, Blood Thing. Buy my book.
Yeah. We'll see you next week
when we talk about some other bullshit.
Absolute sheer bullshit.
Dude, what if the thumbnail for this is like, you remember the part where he's like, Dirk Diggler? Like, what if the text is like that? And then it's like, you know, some unassuming image, but that would be very good. Anyway, okay, bye now.
Bye.